Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic of uh, East Asia, where United States of America and China they are at logger's head, and both countries are in strategic competition with each other. So East Asia is a very important region of the world. I would say this is the most important region of the world in terms of its position, its significance, economic significance. The collective economy of this region is more than $20 trillion, which is huge. And the presence of China, US, in Japan, and of course South Korea. Along with that, Russia is also in proximity. So many major powers are now trying to control this region, and China, being the most important country of this region, East Asia, is predominant power in this region. So China is right here. It is a dominant power in East Asia, and along with China, you have got North Korea and South Korea, and then you got Japan. So along with that, China, Mongolia is also part of East Asia. So there are these main five states are there: Mongolia, China, North Korea, South Korea, and Japan. Then you got three other states like Taiwan, Macau, and Hong Kong. Now, Macau, Hong Kong, they are part of China, and Taiwan is also claimed by China. But there is a separate system right now there, but it is still under the, you can say, political, politically China believe that Taiwan belongs to them. So it's just a matter of time. Let's see how and when Chinese are going to capture this area as well. So this is basic idea of East Asia. Now the importance of East Asia is because of its choke points, the sea lanes of communications, because most of the trade pass through the Strait of Malacca, which is right here, and then it passed through South China Sea, and then it goes to the Japanese and South Koreans and other countries of the world. So basically, United States of America consider this region very important. So that's the idea behind that. United States of America and China, they are the two major powers in this region, and they are vying for influence over this region. So as I told you before, by geography, this country, there are five main states, and then you got Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, which are indirectly part of China. So this region, East Asia, is important region for global trade. It is also important for maritime traffic. Maritime merchant ships, pass through this region. Oil and gas supplies, LNG, pass through these areas, which are called East Asia, for example. So South China Sea is one of the most important area here right now. Then you got other choke points, other states like Taiwan Strait and Luzon Strait. But most important is Strait of Malacca. And for East Asia, Strait of Malacca is very important because most of the oil supplies from the Persian Gulf, it passed through the Strait of Malacca, then enters South China Sea, which is right here, and then it goes to other states like Japan, South Korea, and these countries are allies of the United States of America. So basically, this region, East Asia, is very important region in the world because of the economic reasons. Because the China, the number one economy of this region, India, number one economy of Asia, and the second largest economy in the world is also there. So this is the significance of East Asia, and because of the presence of China and US, a great competition is witnessed in this region. If you look at the major religions in East Asia, so you'll see Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism, Christianity. So these are the major religions in East Asia predominantly, and China being the dominant power, most of the religions are there in China. So this area, the East Asia, as I told you before, that this is very important area for economic point of view, and major powers like China. Japan, they are there in this region, which is called East Asia. So the area which this region covers is about 11,839,074 square kilometer, which is a huge area, and huge population is residing in these countries. Like for example, the population of East Asia is close to 1.6 billion. 1 करोड़ 60 करोड़ के करीब इसकी population है इस region पे. So you can well imagine that the kind of labor force they can they can contribute, services which they can offer to the world, and of course this is a huge consumer market as well for the major powers like United States of America. So United States of America has invested a lot of money, more than $500 billion in China, like just because the China has a big market for them. So if you look at this population-wise, East Asia is the most important region. It is 1.6 billion population. 38% of the Asian population lives in East Asia. Japan is also a major country in terms of population. And 22% of the world population lives in East Asia. So this is the reason that this region is important. Other importance of this region is economic. As I told you before, that $20 trillion is the collective size of the GDPs of these countries. So collectively, China, of course, the largest GDP of this region, 14 or 15 trillion dollars, and other than that, Japan is about 4.8 or 5, trillion dollar economy. Then you got South Korea, which is also a 1.5 trillion dollar economy. So collectively, the economic point of view, say this region is the most important region because of the economic reasons. So if you just for the reference, brief reference, historically this region has been crossroad of different civilizations, and the influence of the Chinese dynasties and the Japanese and the ancient Koreas, it has always been there. And of course, the most brutal rule was under the Mongolian Empire. So the Chinese initially they had huge influence over this particular area, and you might have heard about the Chinese Silk Route, which was there in the 300 BC, and the Chinese silk, it was very famous in the world. So China, with their silk trade, lucrative silk trade, connected China with the rest of the world. So that was the idea behind, and the Chinese were very dominant power at that time. They were very powerful at that time. Then so this region was important at that time as well. And now in modern times, the Chinese are again connecting China with the rest of the world with new Silk Route initiatives, and through railway links and through pipelines and through roads, the Chinese are connecting the whole world with them. So historically, the Chinese have been there, and their influence has always been there. And in 108 BC, Korea, there are two Koreas now, North Korea and South Korea, but initially they were one, and they were controlled by the Chinese, by the different dynasties of China. So China had many dynasties, and especially the Han dynasty. It had huge influence over this region, which is called East Asia. So they controlled a huge swath of territory in East Asia, and they were controlling many things. One of the wonder by these dynasties in China was the Great Wall of China. Now, I think I told you before that the length of Great Wall of China is close to 13,000 kilometers. It is huge. So it was a miracle which these dynasties actually created, and over the period of many centuries. Today, China is coming up with its future vision, and through this vision, the Chinese are very much powerful. They are connecting China with the East Asian powers through China, Mongolia, Russia corridor, then China, Pakistan, economic corridor, connecting China with South Asian country, and then you got Silk Road economic belt. The Chinese are connecting themselves with rest of the world, and there are also maritime Silk Route as well, and through maritime Silk Roads, the Chinese are connecting the world through maritime, areas. For example, the Chinese have invested about $50 billion in Panama Canal's expansion, and Panama Canal is far away from China, but they are now expanding that particular waterway. And with that, the Chinese are going to save around $5 billion, um, $5 billion annually. So this is a big thing for the Chinese. So now, if you look at the Chinese, influence over this region is huge, and we have already covered this particular aspect in the previous lectures as well.